Hello guys and welcome back. So today is day 3 of week 5. We're going to continue working on 7.11a, which is setting up and solving multi-step equations and inequalities. So let's go ahead and start off with our quote for the day. So the quote is, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." All right. So just keep in mind, guys, that once you are better able to master the content, the math gets easier, guys. If you put in the time to learn the content, learn the steps, it's going to make it that much easier. So I impede you to try it, honestly, guys. I just personally love math, which those of you know that I love math, but it just becomes so much easier, guys, once you're able to understand why things work in math. It makes it so much more beautiful, I think. So I guess let's go ahead and move on, and if you have any questions, let me know. Alright, so question number 1 states that Jasmine sold half of her Barbie dolls and then bought 9 dolls, right? So she has some avant-garde amount. I'm going to use the variable x, and she sells half of them. Then she buys 9 more, and she now has 13. So we have to first start off with setting up our equation, right? So the first step is to understand that whatever amount she had, x, she's going to sell half of them, then add 9 to give you a total, right? So it wants to know what was her original amount. So I can substitute that total for 13. So once I take the amount of dolls she has, take half of them, then add 9, I'll be left with 13. So my step 2 is I need to isolate for that variable. So I'm going to remove my constant on both sides. So I'm going to subtract positive 9 from both sides, leaving me with 1/2 x equals to 4. My next step, of course, is I need to divide both sides by the same coefficient, which is 1/2. Okay, so in class we discussed the fact that when we divide by a fraction, it is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So I would multiply both sides by 2 to get rid of the 1/2. In doing so, when I divide by 1/2, I'm going to get x is equal to 8. Okay, so that's my solution, 8. But of course we need to check our work, so we're going to substitute that 8 back into the original equation. So 1/2 x plus 9 equals 13. When we substitute 8, half of 8 is 4. So 4 plus 9, of course, is going to give us 13. So our answer is correct. So we now have our step 4 answer, which is 8. So the answer to number 1 is 8. So she had 8 dolls originally. Okay. Step 2 says that the cost of a gallon of orange juice is $3.50. What is the number of containers you can buy for $15? Right? So this in essence isn't as much an equation as it is an inequality, right? So it wants to know how many can you buy? What's the maximum, right? So you can buy a maximum, or of course you can buy less than that. So we're gonna have to set up an inequality. Same steps, different symbol. So we're no longer using the equal sign, we're now going to use an inequality sign. So our first step is 3.5x something, some inequality, is 15. Now the question becomes, is it less than or is it greater than? Well, since we know the maximum we can spend is 15, then we're going to use the less than symbol. Okay, so it's going to say 3.5x is less than 15, so our symbol eats the bigger number, which is 15. And then we just got to divide both sides by our coefficient. In this case, our coefficient is 3.5, so divide both sides by 3.5. And we're going to get a long solution, which is approximately 4. It's 4.23 if I'm not mistaken, and it continues on. In this case, we use the 4 only because you can't buy a percentage of a gallon of orange juice, right? You have to buy the whole thing. So the most you can buy is 4. So, of course, we're going to check our work. We're going to substitute in that 4. And we have 4 times 3.15. And we're going to get our solution to be 14 is less than 15, which is true. So 14 is less than 15, meaning that our answer is going to be B. Right? So we substituted in that 4 into the x, multiplied through, we get 14 is less than 15, and that is correct. Alright guys, so if you have any questions, that is the way you set up and solve number 2. Of course, your exit ticket for today is to complete questions 3, 4, and 5, show all of your work. You need to send me proof of your work. If you have any questions, let me know. And of course, I bid you for everyone a good luck. Love you guys.